Well, hey there, it's Jennie Wolek with the Wolek Group, Keller Williams Realty in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And, I'm really always enjoying my time when I get to learn from great agents who are succeeding in this real estate business at high levels too. And so today on this episode of Agent Success Secrets, I'm excited to chat with Tanya Johnson. She's been a Momentum member, gosh, Tanya, I think since the beginning that we've
Yeah,
started our
yeah.
time together in our group. And Tanya, just tell everybody who you are and where you are and a little bit of your backstory.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for having me on here. My name is Tanya Johnson, and I have a small team located in Northern Virginia. So our office is in Ashburn, Virginia, very close to Dulles Airport. Lots of IT up there and data centers and all out federal government, not far from, DC. Um, and I've been selling real estate for 28 years. I got licensed in 1997. I was pregnant with my second daughter, hard to believe. And we have a small team. I've got one licensed, she's licensed, but she's been with me 14 years. She does our operations. One other full-time agent who mainly works with buyers, and then a part-time admin and part-time marketing, and then myself.
Well, Tanya, you do good business, like really great business. You're on track for your goal of at least helping 60 families this year.
Right.
I'm sure you'll
Yeah.
probably even exceed that. And so over 28 years, I mean, how do you keep going inside this?
Well, I love my job. I love helping people. I still try to learn all the time. I learn as much as possible. I have two coaches actually. And so I'm always learning from you, from other, like Glover University. I'm always in Keller Williams, of course. Gary Keller is amazing. So I'm always trying to learn. So and get better.
But see, here's the deal, Tanya. A lot of people just think, well, I already know how to sell. I know how to write a contract. I can do some deals. Why do I have to keep learning?
Because you can always get better.
Yeah.
So and things change a little bit. I mean, it we've had so much change this past year, and I felt so ahead with all the settlement stuff. I felt way ahead of all of with the talking to the public and talking to people. I was way ahead of that because of all the training that we got at Keller Williams and Glover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know there's always more to learn, and we just can't stop
Right.
because it is ever changing, which is what's fun and exciting about
Yeah.
our industry,
Yeah.
but could also be kind of stressful. If you were starting over today in this business with what you know now, what would you do differently this time?
Well, I wouldn't have spent so much money on the marketing, like the big marketing. So that I mean, but I always learned, I always had a coach and I always had an assistant. So I at least did that part right. But I spent too much money on the marketing side, advertising and grocery carts, that kind of stuff, as opposed to just focusing on the database and calling the database. I didn't use a database as well as I should have. And I also previewed homes regularly. So I knew the market, I knew the inventory out there. I could describe just about any house that was on the market. And I knew the listing agreements and the contracts. I read them. They're not rocket science. You just read them and understand them. So I was good at that. I just wish I had done the database stuff more early on and not done the marketing.
Well, this is a really good lesson and a painful, financially painful one that you had to live through. And I know you've had team sizes that have varied over the years, like some of us have as well. And so, what are some lessons you've learned through whether to grow a team, not grow a team, leadership, and leading others?
Well, I'm still on a big learning curve on leadership. Um, However, always follow the model. I mean, always the red book, the millionaire real estate agent is the Bible, and that's how you should grow a team. And anytime you don't do that, it doesn't work. So
So
I'm just a slow learner. So it took me a while to learn that.
well, it means a lot more when you actually live it yourself. But that's why I love doing what I do, Tanya, and sharing with you and everybody else because I've failed a lot.
Right.
We get to help others fast track that success. So you sharing your secrets of how, you maybe took some missteps along the way, but now you know better. And
Right.
now you know that you don't. I remember, oh, Tanya, when I first got in real estate, I worked with the broker of a small boutique firm, and we were up at the movie theater. We had the
It's
bus
not
by Panera. And I can't remember one single person calling in and saying, "Hey, will you help us buy because I saw you at the movie theater?"
correct. And I did have one funny story that I went on a listing appointment and their kids wanted my autograph because they thought, because they saw me advertise in the movie theater.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
think you're
mean,
famous.
I guess it got me some name recognition, sure, and that must have gotten me some business, but it's not the big marketing. It's not, that's not the answer. The shiny stuff's not the answer.
Yeah, it's going a little bit deeper on relationships. So you learned that you needed to build a database, and now you're great at staying in communication with your database. I see your video all the time. A lot of people are afraid of video. How have you seen that from putting yourself out there and getting uncomfortable and doing a video, educational or about the market or about a client event? How have you noticed that change in your business or connection with your people?
Right. The connection is definitely a lot more. And we are doing more client events and things like that because of the video stuff. When I first started, it was right during COVID, and used viral marketing because that's what you were using at the time. And so that got me started. But I look back at those videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, they were so bad. Um, and now it's just, I'm a lot more comfortable. Now, I still am not comfortable doing like Facebook Live yet. I mean, I've only done one or two. So I need, you just got to do it. I mean, I get better and better. I'm still don't like to see myself on the video or the camera.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I like to say get over it because that's how you really sound and that's how
right.
you really look.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I like to see my signs, but I don't like to see my videos or my pictures. But oh
Yeah.
well, get over it. Yes.
Well, so along with your video, what are other touches and whether it's marketing or prospecting to your database? Because that's where most of your business seems to come from, Tanya. It's your past clients, it's your sphere, and then from those things you generated more sign calls, more web leads. That's awesome. How are you staying in touch that they go, Tanya's my gal, I got a list with Tanya?
Well, we do two emails a month,
Okay.
for sure, and then we do quarterly touches in the mail. Meaning, in January we do a year in review letter and talk about what the market, about our team, what we've given back to, what we've accomplished. And then normally there's like two postcards for client events. And then in the summer, we do a year so far, or, what's happened so far this year. And we do a similar type format. We also do quarterly, for our rock star clients, we'll do something special, like a gift card or a lottery ticket. We're so lucky to have you, or something like that. And then we're supposed to do quarterly calls,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're supposed to be doing. So yes.
And I only giggle at that with you because I as you know I've had a coach named Jordan Freed for years, and one time I would like be beating myself up about the consistency with the quarterly calls, and he was like, Jennie, just get over it, nobody's really doing that, but maybe they are, and I think it's super great if they are consistently at a high level nonstop, because sometimes we have the ebb and flow of the business and the crazy of life. But what I think is important, and you are doing it, is you're still having the touch in their inbox, the touch in their mailbox, and invites to parties and events and giveaways.
Yes. And I should be calling and saying, that I have a goal. I need your help. I've got my business hat on. I
Yeah,
should be asking them. And I just haven't been as consistent as I should. So I'm always struggling with that. So I'm trying to track how many phone calls I'm making.
I love it. So you mentioned your Rockstar group. Tell me
Yeah.
about how that works.
Well, anybody that sends us a referral, uh,
Okay.
is considered a rock star.
Okay.
So
And are they like, how many do you think you have these days? And I mean, is it under 100? Probably something.
75. Yeah, 75. We consider them rock stars. Yes.
Yeah. I just love that though, because then you know if I had special extra tickets to something or I thought of something to love on my people with, you know who to go to because they're
Right.
already.
Now, the one thing we have not done the VIP client group yet. So
Mhm.
I would like to have that. We just haven't, that's on our goals for this year.
Yeah. Well, okay. So one other thing I want to talk to you about is you had shared with me that you don't live where your team lives.
Yes.
This is
I
an important conversation, Tanya, because maybe somebody is out there listening or watching and thinking, I have a dream. I have a dream to live in this certain place or do these certain things, and they feel confined and constricted to
yeah,
their real estate business.
yes.
Walk me through how all that went down.
So our team is in Ashburn, Virginia, Northern Virginia. Suburbia. It's a great place to raise kids and all of that great stuff. And we found a place in the Northern Neck, which is 2 hours south of Northern Virginia. Friends of ours turned us on to it. And it's got sand, beaches, but it's a river, so it's like 7 miles across to Maryland and it's my happy place. So we used to come down here a lot on the weekends and found a lot. My husband found a lot that he just fell in love with right on the water. And we built a house in 2018, and it was going to be a second home. But we enjoyed spending time down here. And we're like, what are we doing? Because our kids were grown, their college was paid for, they're out of the house. I'm like, why do we have this big house in Ashburn that we don't live in? And so right before COVID, we sold our house and moved here full time and put our stuff in storage. And at the time, I thought we would either rent something little up there or buy something little up there. And thank God we didn't at the time. I mean, it would have been fine to buy since prices have escalated so much. But because our office was closed during COVID, so it's not like I wouldn't want to sit in an apartment or something small up there when I can look at the water down here. So, and it's worked out. I mean, I can go up for a couple days, or I could go up and back in a day if I needed to. I do sell some down here, but the majority is still up in Northern Virginia. And I have a great team.
So with the beauty and of leverage, you've learned that I can be wherever I want to be and still do a big business.
Correct.
It hasn't slowed you down on your production.
No, no. And it's actually increased.
Oh, how's that
So,
happen?
just more, more focused, I guess.
Yeah.
I know that when I go up to Northern Virginia, I just want to work,
Yeah.
so I'm up there for the 2 days or 3 days, and I know that that's when I try to get all my appointments, that kind of stuff. And I just want to work when I'm there.
So over the past 3 years, you've been in my world because you
Yes.
are one of a early member of our momentum group. What would you say you've learned just from, being in this
Oh,
relationship over the years?
well, I think, I found, Mirror My Business. It was right during COVID.
Yeah.
And that really helped me a lot with mindset and stay focused on business during COVID. Um, and and then you had the next class was implement my business. So I did that, and then you started the maintain your momentum. So of course I immediately signed up for that. I think the being able to have access to you and to all the tools that you have, like I just did in our the economic business model. I just used that you had shared last weekend when we were doing our business planning.
Love it.
So having access to all the tools and to you, being able to schedule a call with you, and of course the weekly calls. And then of course I loved our retreats that we would do.
Yeah.
It's just a great. I mean, I'm so glad I found it. So
Well, and I'm so glad that you've been a part of our group because that's what's so fun is just the showing up, the doing the work, the keeping a positive mindset. I mean, you shared with me, Tanya, you're on the road all the time, driving to and from, your team and your business there. How are you? What are you doing to feed your mind on your drives?
I all I listen to is, well, I'm either making phone calls to clients or I am listening to podcasts or books. So, like Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Glover U podcast, all of that is what I listen to that or whatever book. Like right now, I'm listening to 10x is easier than 2x or something.
Yeah,
Um,
I just downloaded that one too. Yeah.
so I'm listening to that. So.
Well, how can people best find you to share a referral? Because I know that's a goal that you have for next year,
Yes,
getting in a
yes.
relationship with more agents. So, how can people share referrals with you or connect with you to learn a little more?
Well, that's a good question. My cell phone is 703-856-7466, and I'm on Facebook, but then my Instagram, it is Talk to Tanya Real Estate, TALK, the number two, TANYA Real Estate.
Well, I know because I follow you everywhere, and I
Yeah.
think you're doing a really great job. And I'm just so proud of you and all that you do. And thanks for hanging out.
Well, thank you for having me, Jenny.
I just have, Tanya, you're a joy always, and have a fun weekend cheering
Yeah,
on your.
go Hokies.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks.